Good afternoon. My name is John Beamer, and this video is for my past CMR, possibly interview segue into that position. The two questions that were asked is what talents do I bring to the team, and how would I explain to a novice investor the value of pass? Specifically, the talents that I bring to the role are twofold. One is I have an in-depth knowledge of market functionality and trading ability because I've seen every spectrum of instrument that Fidelity has to offer to trade. That being said, I can offer real world situations and challenges that go with managing things like options, bonds, or stocks. And specifically, my second skill that I bring to the table is an in-depth understanding of how to de-escalate from my training of negotiation skills with the military and working in high threat areas such as Central Africa and Iraq and Afghanistan. The somewhat factor of mentioning that is I'm able to address client issues and also make sure they understand what is happening but de-escalate the situation. And generally that translates into higher CI score than my peers, as well as retention of business. A perfect example is a really high touch point client named Louis Dominguez. He's a really nice guy. Me and Louis get along very well. Brian Gainey actually passed him on to me. He used to work with him, who's in CMR. And Lou can be a little bit of a high maintenance guy. He will get really concerned and get upset when he sees a fill in a trade that he thinks is not right. And so what I'll do to help him out is first acknowledge some of the things he's working with, because he's got a big bond portfolio and he's a lot of moving pieces. I'll print out the trace data, the Bloomberg pricing data, send it to him, and then we'll go through it together. Immediately, we've taken something that is a very straightforward request, immediately de-escalated it, retained the business, got the interaction where we want it to be as far as Fidelity is concerned. But also that's to lend him to recommend new business to the firm, to including his niece currently transitioning to Fidelity. Directly because we go that extra mile, and he tells us the other advisors he works with do not do that. And so I think by bringing these negotiation skills and having an in-depth, workable knowledge, tangibly understanding these products in the real world, helps articulate the value of managed money and the challenges that go with trading on your own. The second issue or question per se is how do I articulate the value of pass to a novice investor? Many of our clients seem to be or categorized as sophisticated, like active trader, high net worth bond. Fortunately, most of them are not very sophisticated in the sense of having a plan to manage their resources or understanding the things they're purchasing before they actually buy them. That being said, the way I articulate it is first I start out big picture with a we believe and then neck it down to the individual value we propose. So I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, Fidelity, we believe that as you are younger, you can take on more risk in relation to time and retirement goals. And the way that you do that is the proportionality of stocks versus bonds in your portfolio. Stocks being your growth kind of instrument, bonds being your income and diversification kind of an instrument. When we put those two buckets together, we like to change those buckets over time to be less risky in a sense of more bonds versus stock. If you're not sure exactly what a stock or bond is, we'll go through that later in some granular detail. But just know the overall end state is by the time you reach retirement age, you have a bucket of stocks and bonds that you're able to actually weather their financial storm, but support your needs and grow along the way. There's two ways to manage that. You can do it yourself, like you have been on Active Trader Pro. You can learn concepts like fundamental analysis, technical analysis for charting, credit analysis for bonds, and basically build a bucket of assets and manage that bucket over time till you get to retirement. A lot of times at that juncture, clients will say, well, that's a little bit too much. Then they'll say, well, what else can Fidelity do for me? At that point, I'll segue, well, the Fidelity's managed solutions can actually do those things for you without you doing them yourselves. We have the skill to put that into place with our professional management and active managed funds. We have the will, along with that skill and the market knowledge to keep you on track. And we take the time burden off your shoulders to put that time back in your pocket. We shoulder that burden and the time it takes for us to do the analysis and help you get invested, stay on track, and essentially be postured for retirement in the long run. So we essentially give you the biggest component of your life back, which is time. Overall, I believe that the power, price, performance, and time that Fidelity has to offer is much more beneficial than clients trading on their own. I've seen it again and again. Classic example when I was an active trader is Mr. Harry Dorn. He basically was a habitual day trader, not in a bad way, but just trading without a plan. And we actually got him into some just even Fidelity mutual funds, getting him away from the trading on instinct, trading on action, just basically gambling. And he was doing very well. We put that time back into his pocket. We put that pressure out of his mind. And even though he was having some health issues and eventually passed away, I could tell by talking to him during that transition phase, he felt a lot more relaxed. He appreciated what we were doing. Unfortunately, he did revert back to trading stocks and ETFs really wildly again before he moved on in life. But I truly believe the value that we put back into his life allowed him to do other things than just sit in front of a screen and kind of gamble with his money. The power of managed money is in that it all gives people something back that most of us take for granted. It gives us the time back in our life, and it keeps us on track for retirement. When you pay someone to do something and they're doing right by you, you truly have an ability to take those resources that you would put towards this endeavor and put it back into your family life, put it back into your career, put it back into other educational goals, instead of trying to understand the credit strength of, say, Deutsche Bank, which could take hours on end. We take all that burden off their shoulders. And that is where I believe not only is the performance of PASS in relation to not trading with a plan, but the long-term value of PASS and managed accounts is that they truly keep people on track for the long run. Overall, I do bring some significant skills in the terms of negotiation, CEI, market knowledge. I've even completed grad school in finance with a special emphasis on retirement investing. And I also believe the power and belief that managed money truly offers people a solution for life, not necessarily a solution for the short-term trade that they might be thinking of on that 30-day window. Number one, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I know there's many out there. Welcome the opportunity for an interview, and at the very least, if I do not get an interview, I appreciate you considering me, and hopefully I can be of value to your team and serve the CMR role even better than I've served other roles, and essentially help the firm and help the clients ultimately. Thank you very much, and have a great afternoon.